Early voting is underway this week for several runoff elections.
The one getting the most attention right now is the Republican primary runoff for the U.S. Senate seat that is up for grabs. Fox 4 Stephen Dial is in with both candidates on the campaign trail. Stephen.
This is the most expensive Senate race in U.S. history, and Senator John Cornyn is trying to do something no Texan has ever done, winning a fifth term in office for the U.S. Senate. Attorney General Ken Paxton, his challenger, thinks that there is enough division in the Republican Party to kick Cornyn out of office. The first day of early voting starts today in the runoff. The runoff election is next Tuesday. Now, John Cornyn has been in office since 2002. Both candidates have been battling back and forth to show who is the most loyal candidate to President Trump. President Trump has said good things about both Cornyn and Paxton, but has not made an endorsement in this race. Paxton slammed Cornyn today for saying in 2020 that Trump's time has passed him and that he would hurt the Republican Party. Since those comments, Cornyn has been in lockstep with the president. Cornyn trailed in virtually all of the polls leading up to March, but once the ballots were counted, he had more votes than Paxton.
You've never lost an election, but why is this year so tough for you? Why do you think there's a section of the Republican Party in Texas who doesn't support you this go around?
Well, you got to tell the story, and that's what campaigns are all about. And when you run every 6 years, we got a lot of people moving into the state that don't know about our recipe for success, the Texas model of success. And so you got to tell the story. And so that's what, like I said, campaigns are all about. Sometimes you just got to remind people of what they already knew.
He's not a big Donald Trump fan. He said he should not be reelected, that likely should go to jail. He was not supportive in any of the election stuff. He fought him in 2016 on his first election, saying it was an albatross around our necks. What happened to John Cornyn that changed his position a year ago? Does anybody know? I got in the race, and now all of a sudden John Cornyn has spent $100 million talking about how much he loves Donald Trump.
Now, there was big news over the weekend. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy losing his primary to a Trump-endorsed challenger in Louisiana. I asked SMU political scientist Matthew Wilson if this could be a bad sign for Cornyn.
Cassidy, in voting to impeach Donald, made himself persona non grata in MAGA world in a way that John Cornyn simply didn't. And so Cassidy had much more serious problems to face from the Trump base than John Cornyn does. President Trump has actually said some good things about John Cornyn. He has appeared with John Cornyn. He has praised John Cornyn. He never did that for Bill Cassidy.
And again, President Trump did not endorse either candidate in this runoff. And Governor Abbott today also not saying who he voted for when he went to vote. Guys, earlier today, a Texas Southern University poll came out. It only showed a potential November head-to-head between Cornyn and Tallarico or Paxton and Tallarico, not a head-to-head with both of the Republican candidates. In that poll, it had Cornyn up 1 point, Paxton tied with Tallarico. It's important to note that that poll was within the margin of error.